On the day after New Year's, headed home from seeing Star Wars in 3D, I received a text message I'll never forget. My half-sister, who I'd only met 3 times, said my estranged father was hospitalized. Fast forward 24 hours, and my husband and I were on the road, driving 9.5 hours to Bridgeport, Connecticut, where my father, who I hadn't spoken with in 10 years, was laying comatose in his hospital room, according to his nurse. She said he had terminal prostate cancer, as well as a host of other issues, and had been hospitalized for 3 weeks already. He was declining fast, and she suggested we talk with his team of doctors to figure out the next steps. I decided to go to Bridgeport, not to say goodbye or to make amends, but to do the right thing. My half-sister and my half-brother, who I never had met, were flying in from the West Coast to meet us. They had a similar relationship with our father. We arrived in Connecticut just before dark on Tuesday and went straight to the hospital to assess the situation. I immediately found his nurse, who told me something I wasn't prepared to hear. He wasn't comatose, he was awake, and he would recognize me. I stood outside my father's room, unable to pass the threshold. After talking to the nurse on the phone and hearing about his condition, I didn't think that was even a possibility. It hadn't even crossed my mind. I was speechless. My husband and I left the hospital without seeing him, checked into the hotel, and waited for my long-lost siblings to arrive. It was the strangest situation, not only to be dealing with the death of my estranged father, but to be meeting my brother for the first time and my sister for only the 4th. After an evening getting to know them, we woke up, went to the hospital, and decided we had to face the facts. We slowly walked into his room, which smelled of chemicals and staleness. He saw us, even though he couldn't speak, he saw us, and there was recognition on his face. We said our goodbyes to him after talking with his doctors, and with hospice care in action, we knew it wouldn't be long. We went and cleaned out his apartment, sifting through years of papers and clothes. The experience was both gut-wrenching and bonding at the same time. The next morning, I said goodbye to my new brother and sister and headed home to Ohio to wait for the hospital to call with news. We didn't have to wait long. A few days later, my brother sent a text message, another one I will never forget, with a singular picture and a singular line of text. The picture was a box containing my father's ashes. He wrote, "Dad just arrived."